Your Excellencies, distinguished ministers, ladies and gentlemen, it truly is a great pleasure to be here. This is the 4th Berlin Energy Transition Dialogue. I have been to all 4 of them, and as head of IRENA, it's absolutely appropriate because the idea of IRENA itself was born here in Germany. The Energiewende is part of our DNA, and we are always pleased every year to engage in this extraordinary discussion that happens here with this multiplicity of stakeholders. And for us, Germany's leadership has been instrumental also in developing a vibrant international framework to promote renewable energy with IRENA at its heart. And I look forward to continuing to work closely with you and the 180 countries that we are actively engaged in as we go to the next level of the global energy transition. I'd also like to express my appreciation for the 2 speeches made by Minister Maas and Minister Altmaier. I think that as new ministers in this field, their continued dedication to the Energiewende and to this dialogue is truly impressive. I've known Peter Altmaier for quite a while now, and I think he's an absolutely appropriate appointment because the personal reservoirs of renewable energy he seems to possess are really quite remarkable. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are facing an unprecedented period of global change which is affecting all facets of our societies at an astonishing pace. Established economic and trade systems are under pressure. Technology is disrupting existing economic and social structures, and extreme weather conditions and natural disasters are a regular reminder of how climate change is impacting our planet. But similar forces are also reshaping the energy sector. In less than a decade, renewable energy has moved from the sidelines to the center stage of the global energy landscape, largely thanks to supportive policy frameworks and technological innovation and rapidly decreasing costs. In 2017 alone, our numbers show a record-breaking 167 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity were added globally, making it the 6th consecutive year in which additional power generation capacity from renewables outpaced conventional sources. By 2020, we expect all currently available mainstream renewable energy technologies to be cost competitive with fossil fuels in most parts of the world. Few would have envisioned such remarkable progress only a few years ago, and we are truly in the midst of a revolutionary change in our global energy system. Today, we are presenting our findings of the new Energy Transformation Roadmap 2050 report, which fleshes out how the potential of renewables can be further harnessed to address some of the most pressing social, economic, and environmental challenges. Building on results presented last year, the roadmap shows in greater detail how the decarbonization of the energy system to meet climate objectives through renewables and energy efficiency is both technically feasible and economically attractive at the country and at the regional level. Consistent with our previous findings, renewable energy and energy efficiency combined provide the most cost-effective pathway to achieve 90% of emissions reductions required to remain well below 2 degrees change objectives of the Paris Agreement. To attain this, renewable energy needs to increase to 2/3 of total final energy consumption by 2050. And for this to happen, renewables would have to be scaled up at least 6 times faster than in recent years. The share of electricity consumed in end-use sectors would also need to double from approximately 20% in 2015 to 40% in 2050. By 2050, the share of renewables in all countries should exceed 40% and in many 60%, with very few exceptions. In parallel, energy efficiency has to be scaled up to bring energy demand almost back to current levels, and I'm sure my dear friend Fatih will talk much more about that. With the rapid progress we are seeing today, we feel that this scenario is achievable if we have the political will and informed decision-making that has to support it. However, The energy transition is no longer about accelerating the deployment of renewable technologies alone. It is increasingly about how renewables can fuel economic growth, create employment and prosperity at large in an age of economic constraints. In this regard, our 2050 roadmap includes new in-depth examination of the socio-economic benefits of the energy transformation, and outlines in detail the economic case that underpins that. In terms of costs and benefits, the energy transformation makes compelling economic sense. The additional costs of comprehensive long-term energy transition would amount, in our calculation, to $1.7 trillion annually in 2050. However, just gains in human health and lower CO2 emissions would generate savings of almost $6 trillion annually by 2050, which is an amount which is over 3 times larger than the additional cost of decarbonization. And let us think about that equation a little bit. In addition, the energy transformation stimulates new additional economic activity. Across the world, GDP can grow to be almost 1% higher than the business as usual case in 2050. The cumulative gain through this increase will amount to, in our estimation, $52 trillion from now until 2050. Renewable energy jobs would reach nearly 29 million in 2050. Importantly, the benefits of transformation go well beyond GDP and include social and environmental benefits, such as health benefits from reduced air pollution and reduced climate impacts. Our findings point to a 15% improvement in welfare overall by 2050 compared to the current trajectory. At the regional level, the outcome of the energy transition depends on regional ambition and socio-economic structures. Despite fluctuations in GDP and employment, welfare will improve significantly in all regions. While there will be fewer jobs in the fossil fuel industry, holistic policies can create many more employment opportunities in renewable energy and energy efficiency, resulting in a net gain of 11 million jobs in the energy sector. And we are seeing this in both developed and developing economies. It is crucial that we take a proactive, broad, and inclusive approach to harness the benefits of the energy transformation and consider it against the backdrop of specific socio-economic context in which it is taking place. As the energy transformation moves forward, we need to ensure that it is just and fair across countries, regions, sectors, and communities. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are already witnessing strong evidence across IRENA's global membership that the momentum of the energy transformation is strengthening. Renewable energies are penetrating power systems to unprecedented levels. Earlier this year, Germany briefly covered around 100% of its electricity use with renewables. Last year, the United Kingdom, the home of the Industrial Revolution based on coal, went a full day without coal, and more of its electricity was produced by wind and solar than by nuclear power. In 2017, China added 53 gigawatts of new solar capacity, doubling its existing capacity. Power systems with higher shares of renewables are no longer a hypothetical future, but a growing and tangible reality, and we see it in the countries that many of you are representing. Even the world's largest oil-producing countries are taking bold steps to scale up renewables. Saudi Arabia and Japan's SoftBank just signed an agreement for 200 gigawatt solar power by 2030. 200 gigawatts solar power in Saudi Arabia, an oil-producing country, by 2030. These trends have become commonplace in our host country, the United Arab Emirates, for instance. Last September, Dubai awarded a bid to build the world's largest concentrated solar power plant with storage as part of the country's strategy to generate 44% of its power from renewable energy by 2050. The plant will be delivering energy at an impressive $7.3 cents per kilowatt hour. The importance of these developments cannot be understated. Even those countries whose economies have been largely dependent on oil see a key role for renewables and the energy transition in the future. And finally, local governments, cities, and major corporations around the world are increasingly relying on renewables to meet their energy needs and to power their businesses. California, for instance, which could by itself be the sixth largest economy in the world, recently announced that it would meet its 2030 renewable energy power generation target of 50%, 10 years ahead of schedule. And a few weeks ago, news came of the single largest corporate purchase of solar power in the United States by Microsoft, which will be adding 315 megawatts of electricity as part of its 100% renewable strategy. And Apple just announced that its global facilities are now powered with 100% renewable energy, while Google is on track to purchase enough renewable energy to match the electricity that it consumed over the next year. These are truly path-breaking trends that we're seeing. So the energy system that is emerging is not only more decarbonized, but also more digitalized and decentralized. Big data and blockchain technologies are revolutionizing it. Sector coupling is gaining greater ground. Off-grid renewable energy solutions, like what Lucia was talking about a little earlier, are tackling energy access, and we estimate there are 146 million people worldwide now using some form of off-grid renewable electricity. We are no longer just transitioning from one energy source to the other, but are confronted with a need to fundamentally rethink the design of energy systems and the socio-economic structures that underpin them. We are moving from a transition to a transformation that is not just about energy, but about a long-term economic, industrial, and societal transformation that is key for the future employment of people and prosperity at large in the world, and most importantly, for a climate-safe world. But we believe that more action is needed to accelerate this momentum. We must accelerate progress in the three focus areas of innovation in decarbonizing end-use sectors, modernizing our grid infrastructure, and I'm very pleased to hear that Peter Altmaier is giving so much prominence to this issue, and unlocking investment from the private sector and the financial sector with new enabling tools. While the technology and economic aspects of the energy transition have been often examined, there is one issue that has not received much attention: how an energy transformation based on renewables impacts relations between countries. By enhancing energy security, independence, and access, renewables have the potential to move us away from the geopolitical dynamics of scarcity and conflict that characterize the energy system of the past, to one seeking to foster greater development, peace, and international cooperation. Last January at our Assembly, we launched the Global Commission on the Geopolitics of the Energy Transformation to better understand these dynamics and how they could unfold in the coming years. This commission, imposed of eminent government and business leaders, will hold its first meeting alongside this session of the Berlin Energy Transition Dialogue, which has the distinctive feature of bringing together both energy and foreign policy communities. And I'd like to express my appreciation to Germany, the United Arab Emirates, and Norway for their support in this initiative. To conclude, let me thank the organizers for putting together once more an engaging agenda which captures the most important trends and challenges facing the global energy transformation. My only regret is that there are so many parallel ones, I can't attend all of them. It is impressive to see this forum grow in relevance, diversity, and level of engagement each year in terms of knowledge sharing and exchange of experiences. At IRENA, as we want to work with you all present here to move this transformation forward and to achieve a climate-safe, resilient, and sustainable energy future. I wish you very fruitful deliberations in the days ahead. Thank you very much.